vibrations. Just wanted to turn the camera on briefly and share some of the beautiful scenery. I'm currently still in Wyoming. I'm on I-25 northbound, heading into Montana. And the skies have actually started to clear a little bit today, and it is just creating this beautiful, there's rolling hills and ravines. I think they call them basins around here. But you can literally see the shadows of the clouds on the landscape for miles and miles and miles. We're going up a hill right now, and I'm going to let the camera run until we crest, get to the top of this incline here, and hopefully we'll have one of the beautiful vistas that I keep coming across that actually prompted me to turn on the video. So let's see what we get here. Not as magnificent as the ones that I've been viewing, but if you can see over here, it's just a beautiful play of light and shadow. Like I said, and you can see the shadows of the clouds across the plains. I'll take you over here to the left-hand side. It's just postcard Wyoming, actually. Literally postcard Wyoming. So, like I said, I just wanted to tap in briefly, share some of the scenery. It seems like every time I do that, though, the scenery gets really humdrum. I'll come across, I'll come to the top of a hill, or even in some of the bottoms of the hills here, there's just been these views and these vistas as far as the eye can see for miles and miles and miles. And then I'll turn the camera on, and it's like nothing but road. So let's see, one more shot here. Let's see what we come across when we come to the top of this hill. Again, not as magnificent as what I've been viewing, but here's a pretty view. So anyways, guys, I'm going to quit trying. Once I get onto I-90, I know I've only driven I-90 one time in my entire trucking career. And to this day, it is still one of the most beautiful interstates that I have traveled across. And I was actually coming out of Washington State, heading eastbound on I-90, cut across Idaho, Montana. I think I then continued on to, I forget exactly where I went after that, but it was so beautifully breathtaking. This was the first week of October. The temperatures were 72, like perfect temperatures. And I actually found this rest area that was a truck parking rest area, and I was able to walk down this cliff to this mountain river. It was so glorious. I'll never forget it. It's one of my favorite trips that I've taken in my entire trucking career. And I'm talking about through the Smoky Mountains, the Emerald Coast, and Florida. I'm talking about, going up through California, past Big Sur, and I've seen a lot of beautiful, beautiful places. But I-90 coming out of the state of Washington across Idaho and Montana was just simply breathtaking. I've never seen more beautiful scenery in my life. And it just so happens that the universe has kind of, I don't want to say forced me to go this way. It opened up the ability for me to go this way. My original route and the shortest route to my delivery was actually to get off of I-25 and take I-80 westbound near Cheyenne in Wyoming. But the ramp to get onto I-80 was actually closed due to construction. So I had to continue up I-25 northbound. It has added about 100 extra miles onto my route. This load already was over 1,800 miles. But I still had ample enough time to deliver it to where I'm just going to split those extra miles between today and tomorrow as far as driving. My original route down I-80, I would have only had to drive about 500 miles a day, 500 miles tomorrow. Got up and had a real easy morning Sunday, and my delivery's due at 9:30 a.m. And I'll also be gaining an additional hour crossing over into another time zone. If not today, then tomorrow. Depends on how far I get today. So I am under the 4-digit mark as far as miles to go. I've got 954 miles per my Garmin to my delivery to my destination in Grandview, Washington. And I know that I have at least two more states before I get into Washington. So including Washington, we've got 3 more states to go across. We've got to go through Montana, through Idaho, and then we'll hit Washington State. So of course, once I started rambling, the scenery kind of picked up. So that's kind of why I'm letting the video run a little more for you guys too. And like I said, as you can see the shadows of the clouds across the hills. I don't want to call those mountains because they're not mountains. They're hills.
Slow down. Company speed limit exceeded.
Yeah, they're telling on me. So yeah, you guys, thank you for riding with me. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. Like I said, I was just going to kind of tap in from time to time, share a little bit of, this particular load was a load that I started on Wednesday, and it's not due until Sunday morning. When I used to drive for Mega Fleet, I used to have loads like this quite frequently, which I loved. One of my favorite loads that I would do, I actually picked up in New Jersey, and I would deliver in San Bernardino, California. And that was about a 3,000 mile run. I would have 5 days to do it, and I just absolutely loved it. It was a coast-to-coast run. You didn't have to deal with dispatchers or shippers and receivers, every other day. You got to see beautiful parts of the country all the way from, Pennsylvania into California. So it just so happens that even though it's not one continuous load, within the last week I have gone from one coast to another. I've posted on my social media page the load before I went home for home time this past weekend. I actually came out of the Emerald Coast in Florida, picked up near Pensacola. Specifically, I picked up in Destin, Florida, right on the coast, and now I'm heading to Washington State. So that's, if you exclude my home time, I was home over the holiday weekend. I technically have gone from one coast of the United States to the other side of the United States. So it just reminds me of why I got into trucking and why I love trucking. I'm very partial to the West Coast. I feel a sense of peace, ease, and calm when I'm on the West Coast. I feel like I have very, very different interactions with people on the West Coast than I do on the East Coast. And just quite plainly, this is just me personally, but when I am on the East Coast, I tend to be angry a lot of the time. I don't want to get, too woo-woo or, metaphysical about the whole thing. But, I do know for a fact that it is, tied into an empathic, being more empathic, I feel like, than the average person kind of is. And so I pick up a lot of the energy from the places that I am, the environments that I'm in. And so I have noticed throughout my trucking career, and I don't know if anybody else is had similar types of experiences like this, please let me know. But I personally, when I am on the East Coast, the further east I go, it seems like the more angry I become. And then I've noticed that if I do originate in the East Coast with the load and I'm traveling west across the country, the further west I go, the more of a sense of calm and peace kind of begins to come over me. Particularly, I can say if I'm running I-40, I notice it right around the New Mexico state line. And it's been repeated too, and that's why I can actually use like a geographical, a pinpoint geographically where I start to sense that at. And it's usually right around the New Mexico state line. As a matter of fact, on I-40, the rest area right there under the Welcome to New Mexico sign is one of my favorite places to kind of stop. Stop the truck, take a good deep breath, and I feel like I've become refreshed or, like something has been washed away or, again, I apologize. This is really starting to turn into a ramble now, which I did not mean for this video to turn into that. So, like I said, if anyone has had any other type of similar experiences or, just please let me know your thoughts. Please comment. Again, I'm really new to this YouTube thing, and any type of feedback is greatly appreciated, guys. Just really, I appreciate you spending your time with me. You could be anywhere, doing anything, and I'm very grateful that if you're listening to this, you've shared part of your life with me and allowed me to share part of my life with you. So thank you, just for the energetic interaction. It really does mean a lot. For any of you guys out there that are, actual truckers, you know what it can be like out here with lots of miles in front of you and in the truck alone. So I give thanks for your presence, for your being here. So, all right, guys, thank you for riding with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the comment section.